Hello, my name is Martha Putnam, and I'm the Executive Director for Friends of Foster Children. I'd like to share a little bit about my family with you first before we get into addiction in children in the foster care system. My daughter Paige was our first foster child. I have four biological children, and my husband and I became foster parents, and we took Paige into our home when she was 3 years old. Paige was born addicted to opiates and spent 2 weeks in the NICU when she was born. Unfortunately, her parents were unable to overcome their addiction, and she entered the foster care system at 3 years old. She came to live in our home with our children and was immediately accepted, but there were definitely some differences. She still suffered from the shakes. She hoarded food. She had suffered severe trauma due to her environment being born into a household of addiction. 6 months after she came to live with us, her parents lost their rights, and we adopted Paige, and she became a Putnam family member forever. That's the middle picture. And today, 7 years later, Paige is still with us, thriving now because of some of the things we've been able to implement to help her overcome the trauma she experienced in early infancy. Friends of Foster Children has a mission of fostering happy childhoods. We do this by providing services, support, and education to overcome the effects of child abuse and neglect. Our hope is that every child fostered within our reach feels safe, valued, loved, and cared for, enjoys the fullness of life, and is not restricted by their past. We have a Family Success Center at 4100 Okeechobee Boulevard. We have a diverse staff, and we're able to converse with our clients in Spanish, English, Creole, and Portuguese. What makes our agency unique is that we offer support and services to kinship, foster, and adoptive families. So when a child is removed from their home, the first place that we look for is for them to be placed with a family relative or a close family friend. Those are kinship families. These are people that get a phone call at 10 o'clock at night that the child or children have been removed from their home, and are they willing immediately to open their home and take in this child that has suffered from trauma? These kinship families have very little education about the child dependency system, and we are able to walk side by side with them, offering them support as they navigate this very complicated system. We also offer support and services to foster and adoptive families, like mine. Some of the support services that we're able to offer are emergency bags. Within the first 48 hours of a child being removed from their home, either the case manager or the caregiver can come to our office and receive an emergency bag. This bag is filled with 2 brand new outfits, a pair of pajamas, shoes if we have their size available, socks, undergarments, if they're a baby, diapers and wipes. If they're a school-age child, a backpack filled with all brand new school supplies. This is just to help initially that first day into care, so they have something brand new to be very proud of. A lot of times, because of the trauma, they've had to leave their home very quickly and did not have time to get their own belongings. Some of the other support that we provide is a gently used clothing closet. We collect donations from all over Palm Beach County of freshly laundered clothes, and we have a little shopping experience that families can participate in once or twice a month. We also offer holiday gifts for every child in foster care, 1,357 kids as of today. And we provide birthday gifts and special events that we receive donations for so that the families can experience some fun activities throughout Palm Beach County. We also have lot medical services. We have a doctor that comes once a week to our office and offers all medical care and dental care regardless of insurance. This is something we're able to offer all foster, adoptive, and kinship families. Some of the services that we provide are in-home visits with an initial assessment. What do these families need to be successful? and how can we aid them in that process. We also offer helping them navigate the court system, going with them to court, and teaching them all of the different legal aspects that they are now part of in the child welfare system. We also aid them in financial assistance and applying for things like WIC and food stamps and access. We also have a weekly support group for our kinship caregivers. They are not alone in this, and it's imperative that they know that there is support for them. At Friends of Foster Children, we looked at the question, who does this child belong to? And we realized that's the wrong question. What we really need to be asking is, who belongs to this child? So every child that enters the child welfare system in Palm Beach County belongs to all of us. We all need to be there for them to truly accomplish fostering happy childhoods. In Palm Beach County, nearly 40% of children entering the dependency system come from homes of drug or alcohol abuse. Our goals are to provide education for the foster and adoptive families on the disease of addiction and prevention strategies. We also provide helpful tools for foster parents to begin discussing these very sensitive topics. And finally, we want to provide guidance on local and national resources for the children who come from families of addiction. The opioid crisis is pushing more and more children into foster care, as their parents are unable to care for them because they are bound tightly in the grips of addiction. Foster children who were born into a family with addicted parents have experienced trauma, and that sets them apart from other children. It's important that we recognize that addiction is a family disease. It affects not only the parents, but likely has strongly affected the child as well. Due to both the nature and nurture, children of addicts are 8 times more likely to develop an addiction of their own sometime in their life. It is imperative that we show respect toward the parents struggling with a substance use disorder. We no longer use the word addict for someone that struggles with the disease of addiction. This just creates a label and a stigma and it is not the only thing that defines them. Finally, I want to be very clear that with appropriate support and care, this cycle can be broken. There is always hope. Risk factors are all of the things in a young person's life that can increase negative behaviors. While some risk factors can be avoided, others are just out of our control. Some of the risk factors that may lead to addiction are early aggressive behavior, poverty, lack of parental control, substance use, and drug availability are just to name a few. Poverty may not be controllable, but parental supervision can in the right circumstances. So our goal is to maintain a safe, stable environment while fostering a child that comes from a family with addiction. Protective factors are all of the things in a young person's life that buffer and insulate them from the negative and health behavior problems. While there are many protective factors that you can put into place, you will want to remember to keep them age appropriate. Some of the things that can be used are self-control. That is self-regulation, teaching a young child to be able to be in control of their emotions and feelings. Parental monitoring, clear anti-drug rules in your house, and providing a sense of healthy community with strong neighborhood attachments are all amazing protective factors. This means finding areas in your community and regularly attending your child's school events, attending foster and adoptive support groups. You and your foster child are not alone in this journey. The more protective factors that you can put in place, the better the outcomes for your child not succumbing to the disease of addiction. This slide gives a variety of ways that you can support your foster child. Once again, please keep in mind that all of these are age appropriate. The first thing that you can do is encourage open communication. Talk to your foster child openly about drugs and alcohol. Even if you don't suffer from addiction, you can communicate clear messages about the dangers of substance abuse. If you are open and honest and non-judgmental, they will be more likely to confide in you in the years to come. Introduce your children to hobbies or extracurricular activities. Kids absorb all of the actions around them. So it's important to encourage them to participate in sports or the arts, music, or any other type of healthy activity. Generally, children from trauma have a high index, a high need for thrill seeking. So it's important to remember that some of the activities, even though it might be out of your comfort zone, might actually be extremely healthy for your foster child. So for example, skateboarding. There's actually several skateboarding parks in Palm Beach County, and with the appropriate equipment, it can be very safe, but it meets the need that the child has innately for thrill seeking and teaches them coping mechanisms when they have that desire to find healthy outlets in order to use their time. You need to promote a healthy lifestyle. Educate them about healthy living through your own practices. I know when Paige came to our house, she had been starved as a baby and she hoarded food. I would find food pocketed everywhere. Grapes stuffed in her socks, bags of chips in her pillowcase. It took 1.5 years of constant, consistent love and support to help her overcome her food hoarding. While we were discussing with the 3-year-old, keeping in mind it's age appropriate, we talked about, in very simple terms, there's always food in our house and you always can have food. And so we would have special times and a yes basket. And so anytime she wanted a snack, she had to ask, but knowing that the answer was always going to be yes. So Paige has her yes basket. It's filled with healthy fruits and vegetables and snacks, but she knows that with that positive reinforcement, the answer being yes helped her overcome her food issues. Now that she's older, 12 years old, we've started cooking meals together. So she helps me order our HelloFresh order every week. She helps pick out 2 meals, and those 2 meals, she comes into the kitchen, and we've been working together on how to eat healthy and how to cook healthy. And so we're setting up for a lifetime of support and healthy eating options for her. Foster children especially need to have their confidence built up. Many children who come from addicted homes may have suffered from neglect or low self-esteem. Acknowledge them when they do something well or accomplish a goal. Encouragement goes a long way. Encourage them to work hard and that they can overcome any obstacle as long as they're working hard and seeking support. Be sure to praise them every day. Now, we can be real for a second. There are days this is very hard. I know I say praise every day, but there are days that the only praise I could come up with, boy, I love your beautiful eyes. That's okay. She needed positive praise every single day. We focus as much as we can on all of the positive behaviors while trying to curb the negative behaviors. Help as they grow older, have them help set their own goals. What are their goals for school? What are their goals for after-school activities? What are their goals for household chores? And be sure that even with the smallest accomplishments, we're lathering them with the praise that they need to help reinforce their self-esteem and build up positive young adults. There are balcony parents and there are basement parents, and we need to be on the balconies, cheering our children on, letting them know that we love them and we support them, we encourage them, and we know that they can accomplish anything. There are enough basement people in their lives, people trying to drag them down, people trying to tear them up, and just from experiencing trauma in their early childhood, they've already had too much of a basement experience. Let's remember to be that balcony parent for them. We need to be available for them. Parents who have struggled with addiction are likely to have placed drugs or alcohol with more importance than their child. This can cause a diminished sense of self-worth. Providing consistent support will build a trust and a sense of safety with your foster child. Let them know that they matter and that they are loved. Finally, be patient. It may take a long time for your foster child to feel comfortable in your home or even opening up to you. They may feel as though their opinions don't matter. Encourage them to speak up often and that they can feel all of the feelings that they have and treat them with love, compassion, and kindness. Taking these steps will help create a supportive, compassionate, and nurturing environment for the child that you foster. No child is destined to become addicted to drugs or alcohol merely because their parents were. It may not be easy, but a stable environment like this can set a foster child up for success. Instilling a stable life will teach them excellent coping mechanisms and healthy habits that they need in the future to break the cycle of addiction. Starting a sensitive conversation about their biological's parent substance use can be difficult. As always, keep the language age appropriate and utilize the 7 C's. The 7 C's are: I didn't cause it, I can't control it, I cannot cure it, but I can take care of myself by communicating my feelings, making good choices, and celebrating myself. You can use any of the 7 C's as a conversation starter. Discuss what the C means and how they can implement it in their life. For example, communicating my feelings. You can discuss the different kinds of communication, verbal and nonverbal communication. If your child is a little older, you may use a feelings chart with the faces so that they know that feelings go beyond happy, mad, glad, and sad. They may love their parents, but they can use feeling words to say, I am furious about alcohol abuse, and I'm frustrated with my situation. Keep in mind, it's a lot more effective to have a lot of smaller conversations rather than one big talk. Try using everyday opportunities to talk, like in the car, at dinner, or during commercials on TV, if there is such a thing anymore. My favorite time to discuss these issues was in the car. Nobody can go anywhere. It's a set amount of time, and we know that the conversation has a clear beginning, middle, and end. As children get older, the conversation will change. You do talk differently to a 7-year-old about drug or alcohol addiction, differently than you talk to a 15-year-old. As they get older, you can give them more information and reinforce the rules. When you talk about drugs or alcohol, be open, honest, and clear. Make your views and the rules of your home very clear. Give a consistent message. Underage drinking is not acceptable in our home. And remember that conversation goes both ways. Be sure to hear their point of view, even if you don't agree with it. Give them the opportunity to ask questions and actively listen to what they have to say. The older your child gets, the more you want to have a two-way dialogue. You want to be honest, and you want honesty from them about the struggles they're facing. It's a much different world today than it was when I was a teenager. And I want to be understanding, and I want to hear and learn and grow from them. We've even found different ways to use social media to be able to have our talks. We'll use Snapchat or text messaging back and forth just as check-in times. I just want to show our children that the internet and social media can be used for the forces of good. And I want to connect with them in ways that is relevant to them. Our goal by Christmas time for our family is to create a TikTok about the rules in our family. How is it to live in the Putnam house? And we're making fun of some of the rules and having a good time with it, and having an opportunity for the kids to share their viewpoint on some of the rules they think are excessive, but they're still the rules in our family. I did want to share some local and national resources with you. We have 3 local resources. The first one is Friends of Foster Children. You can check out our website. We have a ton of information on there. And we also offer support group every single Wednesday night at our office from 6 to 8 p.m. Childcare with background cleared employees is also provided. I also wanted to make you aware that Hanley Foundation has a ton of information on their website, and they are able to offer programs like the Kids Place, specifically for children who come from homes with substance abuse. These programs go through all of the 7 C's, they're age appropriate, and they bring together children all from the same kind of background so that they know they're not alone in this journey. There are other kids just like them that are learning to survive and thrive, even out of their trauma. There's also Center for Child Counseling. I've included their website, and they have regularly posting great articles and information for foster, adoptive, and kinship families. Finally, there's the National Association of Children of Addiction, NACOA. Their website is also included, and their mission is to eliminate the adverse impact of alcohol and drug use on children and families. They envision a world in which no child who struggles because of family addiction will be left unsupported. I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity today to share a little bit not only of my story, my family's story, but the story of Friends of Foster Children. We are here as a community support. We are here for all foster, adoptive, and kinship families, and we are ready to make sure that together we will live our mission every single day of fostering happy childhoods. Thank you very much.